This is Paul Richardson, and it is another morning. It is 5:30 a.m. October 25th, and the election 2024 campaign from both sides is still going. It's heating up a little bit. We got election campaign funding recently mentioned by some of the billionaires like Elon Musk and a few more who are making contributions to the super PACs. And there are limitations for individual donations, but super PACs, of course, have unlimited donations for the campaign. And the funding for super PACs, along with corporations, I mean, campaign funding has made it a law that they can't coordinate with the candidates themselves or the campaigns. The PACs would have to make a donation. Receive funding independent of the PACs. They can coordinate with the candidates and their proposals and promises and future proposals if they win the White House. The election campaign, it really brings to light how much money is being given. I mean, before that, we didn't really have it. Some people are against campaign financing overall. They just don't like how corrupt it can be, how commercial it can be, how one-sided and biased it can be, supporting one candidate or the other. It's not very down the middle, fair, honest, especially when it comes to biased agendas that they might have, certain causes. It brings into question what lobbyists do, and that can involve special interest that the super PAC might have to sway the candidate in their direction or for their cause. So that kind of thing really makes it a bit of a area that needs to be more transparent for sure, because they want transparency, they want honest numbers and funding so that the candidates can be honest and with their cause and what their proposals are for the future administration. Yeah, so we've been talking about stuff like that. Funding's important. Agendas are important. How the campaigns are financed. There's also a question about who's going to be involved in the next administration. Who's going to be tapped to be in the cabinet? Who's going to be part of the campaign and then later on part of the administration? Are they going to be part of the government, the new administration or the new government that's going to be formed, and in what capacity are they going to be involved with the candidate that wins the White House? That's also kind of tied into it. I mean, especially because you have these previous administrations that a lot of people roll their eyes about. They don't want like a Clinton or Bush administration, the same old people in the new administration with the new campaign candidate, presidential candidate. They don't want to have the same people running it, pulling strings and making biased, biased, out of sync with the American people. What they really want is the candidate to fulfill its promise and represent its people, not just have the same people trying to influence, call the shots, set proposals, and try to control the presidential candidate as well as the new administration he or she would be forming. So that's always something that's going to be also in the news, I think. New proposals and taxpayer funding. How are they going to do some of the campaign promises? Some of the new proposals that they might come up with, the presidential candidates would have to find a way to fund it. And is that through, how are they going to fund it financially? especially if it regards taxpayers and the citizens and raising taxpayers taxes. If it's raising taxes for funding it, it's going to be frowned upon. It's going to be uh, not the most popular proposals or laws that they want to propose to the House to pass. That's going to be at the forefront, as well as how they decide to do domestic security. I'm talking about national security. Our national security has to be of interest. That means the taxpayers, the people, the administration, all of them would have to be in sync as far as securing the homeland. That doesn't just involve homeland security, national security, foreign affairs such as the Crimea, Ukraine, Russia and Ukraine, how that's a domestic affair, yet a foreign affair, and how much can we get involved in it? Should we get involved, especially when we pay so much for NATO? NATO's there for a reason, so that we don't have to, in a national security sense, get too involved with it, with foreign affairs and foreign countries and their domestic, what we consider their domestic issues and their domestic policies, other nations' domestic policies, which brings into question how secure are we? How much do they have an effect on which candidate is chosen and how they're funded and how the results are tabulated? Because you have cybersecurity issues that really bring into question a lot of the election interference, including voter rights. What are the voter rights, including absentee ballots? When can they safely exercise their voter rights? The U.S. citizens, Americans can. How do they use absentee ballots effectively? So far, we've had 19 million people, Republicans, already cast ballots. That's the highest number that from previous turnouts. That's like 10% of the turnout already. They've already cast their ballots from early voting as well as absentee ballots. So that's a huge number. We want a big turnout. We want everyone to be involved and have a say in it, and we want it to be a safe election without voter interference or cyber hacking. So we want that. We want it to be um, legitimate and efficient and in a timely manner be announced and represented. Well, that kind of reminds me of accepting the results, whatever they may be, in the previous administration. And of course, we had Bush v. Gore, famously, where it was below 1% or so, in the hanging Chad that happened. Fingers being pointed, people being blamed, and going all the way to the Supreme Court, where it was drawn out and finally had a judgment in favor of Bush. Yeah, the Florida hanging Chad just brings into question even the next one, even the last one. The Trump administration had so many close results in so many important states that it was really dragged on. People came with lawyers, and they were all these lawyers and trying to litigate and find the best results. I mean, making them accept the results, leave off, leave office, have a smooth transition. That includes concession. Concession would be, I don't know. I guess in a law sense, it's like settling on some kind of compromise, some kind of concession. And if there are any last-minute executive orders, last-minute laws that they wanted to pass, especially the previous administration or president or candidate, how would they be processed with the new administration, the new president-elect, and the White House? Especially because now they are representing and owning their new role as president. So, hiddasix. This is Paul Ritchie Richardson. Over and out.